Okay, in this video I'm going to show how to convert the control surfaces from the regular aileron elevator on this model and the throttle from just a straight twin throttle or twin motor thrust to differential thrust. So for the control surfaces we're gonna mix in tailerons, which this is the normal input: elevator, aileron. Then with the flick of a switch, which I'm calling low rates, we now have mixing on the ailerons and the tailerons. Up, down, left, right. And then for the throttle, let's do it this way. We've got just normal, both throttled, both EDFs are going to go at the same time. Well, I'll get my telemetry back. They're both going at the same time. Now I can throw a switch. So I've got differential thrust built in. So that's what this video is about. Step one is to remove this cover, which I've already done, so it's going to come off very easily. That exposes the ESCs. So connected right in here are Y harnesses that go all the way to the receiver in the front, and then connected back down here are the elevator servos, and I've replaced those with extensions instead of a Y harness that connected and went the whole way. So that's step one, remove this. And if you want to know how to do that, just look on later in the video. That'll has how I exactly did it. Step two is to remove these plywood parts. Getting this right up here was probably the most difficult part of the whole procedure. You can see where it's glued. If you want to know how I did that, you can watch later in the video. And then same with this, we have to pull this up. That exposes this pathway for the wires. You can see that it's not a straight shot, so trying to fish the wires underneath this plywood is not really easy to do, if possible at all. Well, anyway, and then it's very easy to fish the wires through all the way through here. I used a 12-inch servo extension for the ESCs, so 2 of those, and 24-inch extensions for the elevator servos, and they reach all the way to the nose. I don't think I'm going to put the landing gear on, so I did not plug in the rudder, but I left the rudder there for now. These are the Y harnesses that were removed. This is the ESC labeled throttle. And this is for the elevators. You can see that the wires ran all the way the length of the plane to the other connections. So as far as routing underneath the plywood pieces, it really doesn't take any more room. And the only maybe extra weight is the difference in a connector and the length of these if you don't get the exact same length of the extensions. So here we are with the inputs. I have let's see, here we go, ailerons, and I do have them on a high and low rate You can see my exponentials there, or I should say a low rate and a high rate. And then then I have elevator, throttle, and you can see I've got my throttle cut here, and I've got a rudder, but this plane doesn't actually have a rudder, so you can ignore that, except for the wheel. So you can use that for the wheel, like I said, or I'm most likely not going to have landing gear. And then on channel 5, I put the right elevator. So channel 2 is the left elevator, channel 5 is the right elevator, and I put the throttle on channel 6. So here we are, excuse me, here we are with the mixes. No mix on channel 1, which is normal ailerons. Then on channel 2, I've got 100% elevator, so that's normal. That's when I don't have the SC switch up. I'm sorry, with the SC switch, this one here, when I have it up, that's normal.
Low rate.
And down is low rate or tailerons.
High rate.
Or I should say low rate and tailerons. So you can kind of see how that works.
High rate.
And you can see I have these, both the aileron and the elevator at 50% weighting. You can adjust those weights, by the way. And then I've got the throttle. This is the differential thrust. I have it weighted at 25%. Then channel 5 is the right elevator. And the difference here is this negative on the aileron. I've got negative 50%. And then channel 6, I've got another throttle channel. And essentially it's a copy of this one, except it also has a minus 25%. But you can change that if you find the differential thrust isn't as much as you want. You can increase it, or if it's too much, you can decrease it. I don't know at this point. This is just my starting point. Looking at the outputs, so I'm using the 65% on the ailerons, channel 1, as suggested by Xfly, and I'm using a little more elevator for channel 2 and channel 5. So that's it really for all the mixing. I do have some special tracks. Where are those? So I have my armed and disarm on the motor, and SF3, it's just a timer, so none of that is related. My high rates and low rates, or I'm just calling it rate low for the tailerons mix. I do have instant trim on a button in the back of my radio that I added, and then I have throttle active for differential thrust, just using what came with the radio as far as scripts for that. Okay, well, I want to see if I can do tailerons on this. So it's going to take off the ESC cover. It's hard to tell where these wires are routed, but if they're routed in here, that might work. To pull this up, I'm looking for any weak spot. Right there. Right there. Just try to get a hole in here. using a knife, I'm just using the tip of this here. Put some denatured alcohol on this joint, see if I can see if that'll loosen any of this adhesive. I took one, I had have the SU57, and when it arrived, one of the motors wasn't working, and it turns out that the ESC wasn't plugged in. So I had to do this on that model just to get it to work right. I think the alcohol does help a little bit. So I'm going to put it over on this side as well. Denatured alcohol. Looks like the elevator wires, are in here. Can't really tell for sure, but it looks like I can access them here. Take this all the way off. I wanted to do differential thrust because these are pretty wide, fairly wide, not super wide, but anyway. But that's going to require splicing wires, and I'm not sure I'm up for that. Okay, so these look to be the elevator servo wires, or no, these are maybe ESC. Ooh, those are the ESC wires. No, these are the ESC wires up here. So these must be elevator, and then the other two elevators. So where does a Y? Okay, looks like the Y right back here. So I'm going to this is the Y harness. Well, that means maybe I can do the throttle as well if there's a Y there. Oh, it looks like there is. Okay, so I'm just going to run extensions, individual extensions all the way up here so that I can get differential thrust and taileron mixing. So what's the best way to do that? I can, so for example, I need to thread them all underneath this wood. So I'm going to take the wood out. Using a similar approach I did with the other. Maybe. I think I'll start here and see if the alcohol helps loosen that up. Seems pretty tight. So I know hot glue, it looks like we may have used foam tack, but I know the hot glue softens up or makes the glue not stick, so maybe they used hot glue, I don't know, or maybe the alcohol works on the foam tack or the whatever glue they're using. But I'll just use hot glue to put these back in. I'm going to try to cut it out a little bit, loosen it up this way. Looks like I'm well away from the wires. So. Very careful with the wires. See if that loosened it up. Not enough. Starting to think this is a bit more of what's in the cover. This is probably part of the structure of the airplane. seems to be working. There's quite a bit of force, but I'm trying to keep the resistive force located on that block. I'm not even sure I'm going to use this rudder servo. I might pull that out. Probably be just hand launched because my field really is not, it's so bumpy grass. Or possible use my bungee launcher. This seems to be the best. Here we go. Looks like some of the glue got on the wires, so that yeah, that's a lot of glue. Okay, well, at this point, it's going to be super simple, I think, to pull the throttles through, just like that. And now I'm going to do the same things. I'm going to label these. I'm going to do the same thing with the elevators. And I'm going to program this with differential thrust and with tailerons. So let me just pull those through. Let's see. These are the elevator ones. So you have to get some pretty long ones. I wonder if these would have been long enough. No, these are the right length. But simple. I'm just going to disconnect these, run the elevator, and we'll come back when that's all done. These elevator extensions put in, so now I'm just kind of buttoning up this area here. Putting the ESCs back in place. These wires tucked away. I think I'm going to use some double-sided tape for those. Okay, that should have this buttoned up. I'm gonna stick this. That just for now. It's probably gonna fall off, but maybe not right away. Okay, so here are my new wires. That says elevator 2. Yeah, it's a little, maybe it could be a little bit longer. So I use 20-inch. I think that's going to be long enough. With my radio receiver here. Let's double check. Because if I need to put a bigger one in, now's the time. So let's see, how many, I'm going to use an 8-channel, I think, but just see how many channels do we actually need. 1, 2, 3 for the ailerons. 4, 5 for the throttles. And 4, 5, and 6 for the rudder. So I could use a 6-channel radio receiver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, why didn't I do that? Now the other thing is, if you don't, you can always put a Y harness on these now, or I could put another extension on, because this is pretty tight. Now let me see if I have some 24-inch, because these are too tight. Okay, so I've attached some 24-inch leads. Unfortunately, I can't just snake them through here. So I already buttoned up the ESC, but let's see if this can come out. Hemostats are a fantastic tool. Get the polarity, and then before I button all of it up, you definitely have to test it, make sure everything's good. good. Looks good. A little white. Now they're definitely long enough. And this isn't really any more wires through here than there were before because the Ys went all the way up to the connector at the radio, so that's good. Not trying to fit 10 pounds into a 5-pound spot. Okay, that all looks really good. Connectors out from under the hood. I think this should go on the other one, should go on the bottom. I can use a 6-channel receiver. I think that'll be better. So let's just double check this. So I'm going to put this in like that, and then I am going to unbead a hot glue here, here, and there. And that should be pretty good. That looks really good. So the aileron one is the shortest one. That'll define how far the radio can go. Okay, so I'm going to test, get my radio all bound up, test, make sure everything's working before I hot glue this together. Push the connectors back. Okay, that should do it.